Okay, we have 7, and the first 2 will be Emily Richmond and Michael Rayo.
I'll be speaking on a couple of topics. The first one is B4C, Safe School Action Plans. Again, another year that the board did not ask for a presentation of your schools. Where are the students, where are the staff? How many claims against the districts do you need before you get a wake-up call? What's going on with Libby in their school, their quote, safety plan? Is it the solution to kick out parents and their PTO off the school grounds because they are, quote, troublemakers, only after looking over their own kids? Or how about Ivy Ranch parents that have given they've been given the safe school plans to help mitigate their student safety issue? Item 4, the ratification of the warrant list. There's about 11 purchase orders that have been issued to DEMCO for business services out of the general fund, the sources discretionary fund, for contracted services of about $108,000 this month. What are those contracted services? DEMCO sell books, supplies, equipments. What are you contracting for? The warrant list was designed to give board members the ability to easily track expenses. Business services is not transparent. It seems to have poor auditing or accounting practices. There again, I'm talking about mileage here. Again, about $6,000 a month is what you've been going through for reimbursement for mileage. That's about 60 gas tanks. How is that affecting student achievement and academic performance? How is attending conferences all over the nation and presenting at equity and DEI conferences help our students in Oceanside? Now we'll talk about the credit card expenditures. That's on the warrant list. In February, March, and April 2019, there were 4 credit card expenditures. At that time, correct accounting practices were used, purchase orders, etc. Expenses were questioned and approved before any spending, especially the credit cards. The Director of Fiscal Services ran a tight ship, and the department knew that it was the taxpayers' dollars that they were entrusted to protect and use for the academic success of students in Oceanside. In February, March, April 2019, there were 4 credit card expenditures on the warrant list. In February, March, and April 2024, this year, there were 84 credit card expenditures. How is the spending of these funds helping students in Oceanside? Especially when our district is down several hundred students. Only 41% are at grade level in English and 29% at grade level in math. How is this spending affecting student achievement and academic performance? In fact, the scores went down from 2022 to 2023. I'd like the board to be able to do your diligence, again, finance is a big part of you, and it's going to come the next couple of years, it's going to be coming down. So I just want you to be sure that you understand the warrant list, and you understand the credit cards, and you understand your fiscal department, what they are not doing for you. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Michael Rayo. I am an Oceanside resident, concerned Oceanside resident. And I'm not entirely sure what I was going to be speaking on today because the school board's continued attack on freedom of speech by limiting public comment to agendized items at the beginning of the meeting. I'm not able to actually see the full program, or in this case, the magnet schools presentation, but I will go ahead and give you what my concerns are for the magnet schools, even if I don't have the information. I probably would have been. I would have gotten those answers had I seen the presentation. But my concerns are that the biggest one I'm going to have is that students need to be at their neighborhood schools. There should be no limitation. There has been tradition or trends of magnet schools in the past that have pushed students out of their neighborhood schools. Because of the lottery system, there's a lot of students that would be in those neighborhood schools that would not be able to be into those. They would be pushed out to other ways. This will inherently create an increase in inequity because a lot of the students that are at my school that I teach at would not be able to travel across the district to get to another school site. So And with the closure of Garrison, there's already that increase of students getting to their school, so we've had difficulty with that in the past. The other part of that is that we have limited space, facility space, as everybody should know, because we reduced our space limitations when we were remodeling the school. This board ended up canceling 2 of the modulars that we had at our school. We had to increase students, we had to increase kindergarten classrooms this year in order to accommodate all the students that were coming in. So the next part, my second concern would be adequate funding for programs. We need to make sure that we are funding these programs that we are saying that we are having, but it is interesting that as a fierce advocate, myself as a fierce advocate for the arts, that this administration actually discouraged me from advocating for the arts program at our school site. And I will continue to fight for the arts program. It's not like that now, but that's how it has been in the past. But again, we're still not we're not having all of our programs even funded, and it makes an increase. I would probably start with our special education department to make sure, or our special education program, to make sure all of our service minutes are met at our school site. I'll leave that at that. And then my last.
Thank you. Sorry.
I would also vote no.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
I vote no on.
Thank you, Mr. Rea.
Our next board speakers will be Brian Strong, Shelley Tavares, Caitlin Kosek, and Abby Stutter.
Good evening, board members. My name is Riley Plum, concerned parent for the Ivy Ranch School District. I have 4 children of my own, 2 of which currently attend Ivy Ranch. We're here to discuss, as the concerned parent and PTO, the new installation of the fence that's along Mesa Drive. So the problem that we're having is that there's a lack of privacy and safety with regards to this newly installed fence. About 6 years ago, we as the PTO petitioned, got grants, and received funding to be able to put slats in existing fence in order to produce better privacy, better safety for the students. And I participated in that with my family and a ton of volunteers, and personally put in every single one of those slats on the existing fence, and that stood for the last 6 years. Recently, without warning, notice or conversation, the fence was removed or replaced. It is still unclear why this change was necessary, as none of the structural posts were replaced, they're only spray painted. It's supposed to be a non-scalable fence. It's got 1-inch holes. I've installed this in my career with in construction, but it is anything but non-scalable. In fact, just a couple weeks ago, one of the kindergartners actually scaled the fence, got all the way to the top before he was issued down by a new duty. So it is far from non-scalable. But back to the fence removal. The fence was removed and replaced during school hours while children were playing on the playgrounds. It took days to complete, and it looks nice. But we're not here to see what looks nice. We're here to see what's safe and provides that safety for our children. Many emails have been sent, and you should be caught up on that. You'll know that there is a registered sex offender with crimes against children that lives directly across the street. And I have an exhibit here that you can see. This is the sex offenders registry online that anybody can look up. And you'll see that directly across the street, now the little black spot in the middle, that is a registered sex offender. His name is Camilo Ricardo Osuna Jr. And just a few weeks ago had a run-in at one of at El Camino campus. And he's also registered as a 6th on the registry, which is at high risk of a repeat offense. So back in November, as parents, we tried to start a conversation in the school district regarding our concerns with the press to ensure privacy of our children. In December, as parents sent emails to the principal, staying within our proper chain of communication, and reported both some of these incidents. There was one reported incident of a person who recorded children outside the fence. There were approached by a noon duty and told to leave, and they did not leave and continued to record. Cameras have been installed, but that is a reactionary offense. We have plans that will address as a PTO of our concerns that I think are reasonable, and appreciate your time in this concern. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shelly Tavares. I'm a mom of 4, 3 of which still attending Ivy Ranch Elementary School. And I want to pick up where I left off. In January, at our monthly PTO meeting, the principal came with the district's response to our request for privacy of some kind to be added to the fence. The response is noted in our PTO meeting notes, but in essence, it was that no modifications to the fence were allowed and other safety protocols were now in place to replace the privacy panels. When asked about those protocols, we were told that the new duties have walkie-talkies and are instructed to contact the office if an incident takes place. There are 2 new duties at any time on the playgrounds at the highest populated elementary school in the district. 2. While these 2 new duties are keeping our eyes on our children and doing their very, very best, they are not responsible for policing what is happening on the other side of the fence, nor can they possibly be expected to watch both 150 of our kids and every single person that walks by. That's unrealistic and unreasonable responsibility to take place on 2 people. We push back. If the fence can't be modified, then we'll add to it. We found a solution that wouldn't modify the structure of the fence or affect its integrity. We purchased privacy screens online, which we notified our principal that we were doing and when it would be installed. The panels came in a little later than expected, but we installed them Sunday, March 3rd. Monday morning, 5 trucks from the district personnel showed up to remove the panels. Within 2 hours, while the kids were playing on the playground, they were taken down. There were zip ties left with sharp edges left everywhere, and still no response from the district. Instead, a few hours after the panels were removed, an email was sent from our principal to the staff and the entire parent-student body, making us sound like vandals and accusing us of violating the school district policies. Security cameras were also brought up as a replacement to the solution. It was very fast mention of these cameras during any part of this process. The district and the school had from between November and March to begin the conversation regarding security cameras, and never once did. Also, when pushed for a copy of the policy we were supposedly in violation of, the response was, and I quote, "It is a verbal policy, more of a protocol that the district was agreed to. It's not written policy." How can we be in violation of policies that don't exist?
Right.
In no professional realm anywhere can anyone be held accountable for a verbal policy. Aside from the disrespectful treatment of the parents, I am disgusted by the lack of regard for student privacy and safety. This is important to me because my youngest 3 children attend this school, and their safety and privacy are my #1 concern, as it should be yours while they are in your care. I want to be proactive and having something done before anything happens. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin Kosek. I'm in my 2nd year serving with the Ivy Ranch PTO, and I'm the mother of 2 young children, one who started at Ivy Ranch at 4 years old. I am here tonight to request the board provide oversight to our district leaders for conducting a fencing change at Ivy Ranch Elementary that directly conflicts with the district's own facility master plan. The survey the district commissioned to inform the 2021 Facilities Master Plan identified parents' 5th top concern as improved campus security, including visual barriers to play areas from public streets. This concern was shared by 284 parents. In response to these concerns, the district created the Crime Prevention through Environmental Design guidelines within its master plan. Verbatim from this plan: natural territorial reinforcement, create and clearly define private areas from public areas to deter trespassers. Good landscaping design can contribute to this by creating a no man's land buffer of landscaping, in parentheses, prickly planting, that would make a person walking in the zones stand out as an intruder. Here is a visual representation of that from your own website. It shows a shaded fence with landscaping separating the sidewalk from the school grounds. Despite presenting this information to our principal, Our superintendent and our board representative, we have yet to hear a response why a facility improvement that is in direct alignment with your own master plan will not even be discussed. I ask you to add an agenda item to the next board meeting to discuss plans to rectify the mistake that was made. Please also discuss approving a formal gift acceptance agreement with the Ivy Ranch PTO to correct this error and bring Ivy Ranch facilities back into compliance with the facility's master plan. A solution could be shaded fencing. Shaded fences are still in use at OUSD's Ditmar School, looks like they were recently installed again, and in all neighboring districts. In Vista, shaded fencing is used at Alamosa, Grapevine, and at the highly desirable Casita Magnet Elementary. In Carlsbad, shaded fencing is at Aviera Oaks. Also in Vista, mature landscaping is used to provide privacy for Breeze Hill Elementary students for the busy Melrose Ave corridor. And in Encinitas, at Paul Ecke Elementary, fences are completely covered with passion fruit vines as well as shading for the kindergarten playground from a side street, not even the main road. Please do what's right. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Abby Studer. I am also a concerned parent of children in Ivy Ranch. I have 3 daughters attending there, 5-year-old twins and a 7-year-old. I grew up in Oceanside. I attended Morrill Elementary School, Lincoln, when it was a junior high school, and graduated from Oceanside High School seemingly 100 years ago. You've now heard what we as parents want from Ivy Ranch. We've been trying since November to collaborate on the fence. We've called, we've emailed, and now I'm standing in front of you with a petition with 288 signatures on it from parents who want this fixed. You've already said no, but I have to keep trying because my daughter's lives depend on your ability to keep them safe while they're in your care. Do you know that there are at least 10 families that are pulling their children out of Ivy Ranch because of this? They're not just leaving Ivy Ranch, they're leaving the district. They're headed to the state. Very clear. Safe is more important than beautiful, and it's offensive that we received an email saying that our school is a showcase for the district. Additionally, proactive safety and reactive safety are 2 very different things. As an example, a proactive approach to your own home security would be to lock your doors and windows when you leave. You can also install alarm systems with obnoxious noises that call the police when set off. Posting warning sign deters would-be burglars. A reactive approach to your home security leaves the doors and windows unlocked, does not include an alarm, and relies solely on your video doorbell. You may also place cameras on your back door in your garage. Those cameras will capture what the thieves want you to see, their hooded faces and your stuff leaving your house. The privacy panels we have begged for are proactive safety. They deter intruders from even approaching the fence. Your camera solution is reactive. Those cameras are not going to climb down off the walls and tell pedophiles to go away. We asked for a compromise when you said no. We ask that you follow your own documentation, as shared by Caitlin, and plant prickly plants in the existing no man's land outside the fence. You said no. No explanation, just no. Yes, there are parents who disagree with privacy panels. That's another reason why we feel that the prickly plants are the perfect solution. The parents who just disagree with the privacy panels get to keep their line of sight. The parents who want the privacy panels will at least be able to keep people away from the fence. And the district, to quote Mr. Lessing's email, gets to continue to showcase one of the most beautiful campuses in the district. It's a win, win, win. But you said no. Our expectation following this meeting is at the very least prickly plants planted in the no man's land on the outside of the fence. Ideally, however, we would appreciate opening a dialogue that can be mutually beneficial. I hate to threaten, and I don't want to, but we've been working on this since November. If we don't hear something very soon, by the end of next week, we may be forced to follow up with a Williams uniform complaint procedure.
Okay, we have a total of 10. The first 3 will be Patricia Mendez, Filiberto Gomez, and Beth Barnum. For Patricia, we will have 6 minutes.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Patricia, es la tercera vez que vengo de la escuela Lingui, a hablar sobre el mismo caso, el bullying. No hemos sido escuchados. Ustedes dicen que ya hemos llegado a un acuerdo, no hemos llegado a ningún acuerdo, siguen insistiendo con los correos electrónicos que estamos en un acuerdo, mandaron un mediador, muy buena la clase de meditación y relajación, pero no era lo que esperábamos como padres escuchar. Ha habido quienes del distrito se burlan diciendo que estamos exagerando en el caso. No estamos exagerando porque no son sus hijos, son los de nosotros. Yo estoy a veces de voluntaria en el grupo de PTO. Ahora la principal y todos dicen que los problemas todo es culpa de PTO. Cuando usted, señora Raquel, estuvo de presidenta de PTO, y usted sabe que PTO no tiene autoridad para mandar ni a maestros ni al staff, así que nosotros no sé por qué dicen que es culpa de uno cuando nosotros estamos peleando por los derechos porque queremos ser escuchados, cosa que no hemos sido. Ya hablamos con el distrito, con el board meeting, ya hicimos una protesta, llamamos a la televisora, nos dieron un correo del condado para hacer quejas porque supuestamente no estamos haciendo todo como el protocolo lo dice. La página del condado no funciona, entonces vamos a ver si las quejas van a ir al estado o qué tenemos que hacer para que ustedes nos escuchen.
Patricia Mendez, this is the first time that I'm coming here to speak about Libby, once again to talk about the situation with bullying, that we have not been heard. You have said that we've reached an agreement, but we haven't reached any agreement. You've sent emails about this agreement and sent a mediator to come speak to us, and it was a nice class of meditation and relaxation, but that's not what we were expecting as parents. We don't feel that we were listened to. Some people say that we're exaggerating, but we're not, because these are not your children. I'm a volunteer with the PTO, and now the principal and others have said that the problems are the fault of the PTO. Ms. Raquel, you have been a PTO president, and you know that the PTO doesn't have authority to demand that the teachers or staff do anything. So I don't know why they're saying that we're at fault. We're looking for our rights and want to be heard. We've already come to speak to the district at the board meetings. We organized a protest and asked the TV stations to come. And we were sent an email directing us to a page to put in a complaint to the county, because apparently we're not following the right procedures that we're supposed to. But that county page was not working, so maybe our next step will be to the state if we want to be listened to.
Hello, my name is Filiberto. My son is Emiliano Hernandez. He's a third grade student at Libby Elementary. This is the second time that we're here to express our concern as well. Back in October last year, my son he got stabbed by another kid with the eyebrow razor. He was able to move, so it's only like his finger was cut with the razor. We came here to express our concern about the safety at the school. And after that, we did receive an email from Ms. Cuevas to make a meeting with us. And we did meet with her, and we expressed all our concerns. But after that meeting, there was like really anything. We asked her, can you please keep us updated with whatever decision you made to make the school safer, or especially in this case with my son to be in a safe area. But after that, like we didn't receive anything. She did send an email and asked if we have like another concerns. We told her that we want to see what changes she's making, but apparently as of right now, we haven't received anything. As they mentioned earlier too, we got a mediator and we expressed our concerns, and even after meeting with that mediator, we haven't received anything, or I personally haven't received anything, or what they're working on, or what they found that they're gonna be making changes. My son also, from the same student, he offered my son drugs, and we expressed to the Miss Cuevas that they're offering drugs to my son. And it was the same student that he tried to stab my son. Maybe they were playing, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't true, but if they already brought a knife or something that could hurt my son, I'm pretty sure there's a possibility that they can bring some drugs. And as of right now, I haven't seen anything that they're making any changes to make the school safer. And it's heartbreaking to hear from other schools that they're becoming magnet schools, and all those resources they're going to that school. And I'm happy that at least those schools they're getting better. But it's heartbreaking that they're all the resources that are going to that school, and they're like doing anything for Libby Elementary School. They have been even like protesting at the schools, and it seems that I don't know how much the student or the parents we have to do to hear our concerns, and that's why we're here as well. Thank you.
Beth Barnum. I went to that rally at the protest, really, at Libby Lake, and I am embarrassed with Oceanside Unified. Ms. Alvarez, you were there. Jordy, you were there. Maria was there. The principal was there. None of the parents were allowed on school premises. They were only allowed on the sidewalk. None of you came out to speak to the students. The parents. I spoke with a parent who doesn't have a daughter anymore in this school district because she pulled her daughter after she was punched in the face last year at Libby Lake. And the excuse was that it'll be fine, it's kind of prepping her for middle school because it's going to be harsh in middle school. Whereas the child who did it received 0 repercussions. I'd like to know where the equity is. The DEI department is okay with defending the rights of the LGBTQ+, but can't defend the rights of a school that has 90% Hispanic students. Seriously, I grew up in Oceanside. This is disgusting. I go to open houses to see, it's fun, and I look at the schools that are put on the flyers, and I'm like, do not send your kids to Oceanside Unified School District. Pull them, homeschool them, or even go to Vista. It's better. I am seriously disgusted. You have 0 moral compass. None. These people have come to numerous school board meetings. It is difficult. And then you move the meeting from 6 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You do not want to see the parents. You take, Eleanor, you missed a great meeting at the Republican Women of Oceanside, California. You did. They were talking about protect California rights for kids. I was speaking to some of them that they said, no, we'll listen to the meeting on Zoom because KOCT Zooms it. I said, oh no, they voted not to stream it any longer. And the only place that you can put a video recording device is in that corner. You can't walk up to the podium anymore. So please, stop lying to these parents. You don't want to negotiate with them. You've closed Reynolds and you put them all at Libby Lake and it's only caused problems. You can fix this. The board members, you are in charge of the superintendent. You can fire her. It says so on your website, under the school board, the Board of Education. You have the power. She is not your boss. and fix this problem.
Allison Renew, and Susan Custer. Allison.
Alright, good evening board and Dr. Vitale. To Nancy Licona, my district board member, I hope you are paying close attention to what bad leadership looks like. On March 10th, 2020, Dr. Vitale and OUSD board members voted to lock our kids out of their classrooms and sent them to Zoom school, and continued that closure for almost a year and a half. Being one of the longest school closures in North San Diego County, meanwhile students who are in-person learning in our neighboring cities like Vista Unified. Those closures have put our students far behind in academics with continued absenteeism. I am reminding you of these sad times to bring you to the following. On a recent PRA on Dr. Vitale's district credit cards, we see that she did not seem to mind swiping her district credit card to dine around town during that time. As a tax-paying citizen in Oceanside and mother of 2 students in the district, it is a slap in the face. I can say this because I was one of the many frustrated and disappointed parents holding rallies and news interviews during this time to reopen our schools. It still cuts deep. Our superintendent, Dr. Vitale, makes well over $350,000 with benefits and has the audacity to spend public funds like it's nobody's business and like it's her own personal credit card. For instance, on March 13th, 2020, she decided to swipe for $74.25 Tony Pepperoni pizza. March 18th, 2020, $97.68 Cheesecake Factory. And on July 16th, 2020, $140 at Aquaterra at Paula Mesa. On July 16th, 2020, $183 Aquaterra at Paula Mesa. But on July 17th, she did the same, similar at Aquaterra. But there's a staggering one with August 5th, 2020, a whopping $771, again at Paula Mesa Resort. It seems enjoying that resort life during COVID lockdown. Dr. Vitale and board members, it is a shame that you are allowing the type of mismanagement on public funds. Funds we could be using to support our students in dire need of a better education and support for our teachers and staff. Tonight we present this to you as concerned parents and stakeholders. Dr. Vitale, you continue to show inept leadership in our district. You need to step down, and for our students and families deserve better in this district. Thank you.
Good evening. I would like to speak on some more of Dr. Vitale's expenses on her credit card. There's an exorbitant amount, an unusual amount, going to all the LGBTQ organizations. Gifting to one particular organization, an amount approximately equal to the other 8 or 9 local organizations combined, shows a distinct and clear prejudice. Curiously, in 2028, gifts amounting to $2,358 went to an LGBT center in Charlottesville, Virginia. How are those helping our kids? That's 3,000 miles away. I really would like to know, are these donations, or why is this money being spent this way? Is it a donation? I think as taxpayers, we have the right to know the reason public funds are being used this way. I'd like to mention a few others. So, to these organizations, in 2019, $2,600 was spent. Nothing was spent during COVID in 2020. In 2021, $895 was spent. In 2022, $1,278 was spent. And some of these North County here in Oceanside. course, the worst and least, the hardest to understand is what was going on in Charlottesville. Again, in 2023, for a total of 2,358. So throughout all these years, 7,131 was spent. It would seem to me that some of this money could have been used for the children at Ivy Ranch to give them the privacy fence that they would like. To make the parents feel more comfortable. We understand all these security cameras, but apparently the parents would like some security fences for their children. And also, I know there are anti-bullying programs. Why isn't that being taught at Libby Elementary? So again, we'd love to know if these are donations and why the board is approving these expenses. It's public funds. Then let's see if I have any other notes here. Just that I hope you'll get back to us on this so that to save us the money of having to hire an attorney and you the inconvenience of having to answer the questions. Thank you.
Patty Kane, Michael Richardson, Graham Fraser.
Thank you and good evening to everyone on the dais. Continuing that theme, I have some questions of the board because the board did approve all these expenses that you're just hearing about. My column is on hotels, and I tried to link it with the board-approved meetings and conference schedule that we were given in addition to the credit card expenses. However, I have difficulty on a lot of the hotels relating any conferences, at least on the official record. In 2019, there was a Holiday Inn Express in Philadelphia for several days, but there was no conference noted. There was in 2019 Embassy Suite in Temecula, no conference noted. There was a Pendry Hotel twice in San Diego, no conference noted. And there was a DoubleTree in Orange County in that year, no conference noted. A conference would explain things, but board, you did approve these. In 2020, there were 3 Pendry Hotel expenses with no conference noted. That's in San Diego, by the way, and there's a limit, mileage limit that you are awarded an overnight stay, but I think San Diego, most of us come back the same night. There was Hyatt Indian Wells for $876, no conference noted. In 2021, the Pendry Hotel again in San Diego for $1,150, no conference noted. In 2022, no conference noted for Omni Hotel in Nashville, $321. There was an Omni Nashville conference. However, the dates are different than the hotel stay. There was Westgate in San Diego, no conference. Marriott in Pendry Hotel 2 other times in 2022, no conference noted. Pala Mesa, no conference noted. San Diego Mission Bay, no conference noted. And San Diego Hyatt, no conference noted. In 2023, these are all approved by you, board, so I guess the question is to you, you might know the reasons. We would like to know. There's a 2023 Town and Country San Diego, a no conference noted. Embassy Suites San Diego, no conference noted. Excuse me, Embassy Suites in San Luis Obispo. I didn't know we traveled up there for a conference, but there's none noted. Hotel Indigo in Vancouver, no conference noted. Lake Arrowhead Resort, no conference noted for 1, 2, 3, 4. I finished my sentence. 5, 6 Brian's individual.
Hello. Testing. Oh, well, I can talk loud.
No, we want to hear the mic. We can't hear back here.
Thank you. That's not working. Man, you broke it. Testing. Hello. Hello.
You need a mic.
This is a different mic. What's wrong?
They all blew out. They all blew out.
I blew them out.
You blew them out. Yeah, you did. We did. We turned it off. Put that thing down, man. Put it down.
It should be working now.
Hello? No, this one doesn't. Hello?
The on button needs to go on that one.
Testing, 1, 2.
Yes, that one works. Okie dokie. Oh, wait a minute, start over. Okie dokie. You know, when a parent drops off his pride and joy at school, he or she demonstrates a gigantic amount of trust in the school, that the school will keep their child safe and nourish and educate them. That trust happens only when the school staff and teachers continuously prove that they can be trusted. When the board, that's you, gives the superintendent a district credit card, they are trusting that she will use it for the benefit of the schools and not for her own benefit. Obviously, there must be a huge trust from the top down. Trust that must be earned every day with every purchase. So when the superintendent spends money with a district credit card, she has a duty to earn this trust with each transaction and go overboard with fairness and transparency. Otherwise, there is doubt and erosion of that trust, an erosion of trust that plunges all through the district and all the way down to the teachers and the kids. As has been already said, we obtained the statements for Julie's district credit card for the last 5 years. And they show a blatant disregard. And how come? Disregard for the trust, for this trust, the trust with hundreds of, okay, they show a blatant disregard for this trust with hundreds of purchases from Amazon, Staples, Walgreens, Target, and many more for thousands and thousands of dollars. Some of them, several on the same day. And then they fail to explain why a credit card was used instead of a routine purchase order. Was it because it would be buried in the statements and never discovered in an audit like a purchase order surely would? Have you seen any details? The board, have you seen any details of these purchases? Why not? Why haven't you questioned them? If you're interested, we can show them to you and show you how this apparent abuse has been perpetrated on us. It's obvious that this superintendent has no moral compass, no integrity, and displays a blatant disregard for the trust that we have all placed in her. She must be removed.
I'm Graham. Thanks for listening to me tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to express my civic duty here to admonish you board members. I try not to be a bully, but I'm very, very disgusted with the behaviour of you, Mike, and the rest of you, allowing this behaviour to go on and on and on, year after year. A total of $110,000 has been spent on Dr. Vasselli's credit card that you authorise her to use, and you must authorise that every month. So how you can, in good conscience, approve it going on, or maybe you just didn't approve it because you weren't paying attention. Who knows? But either way, you're guilty. I'm pretty disgusted about that.
Unilaterally.
Pardon?
Unilaterally.
Unilaterally. What do you mean by that, Mike? Who's guilty? We're guilty of the voting for you people. That's what we're guilty of. I was quite taken tonight with, I was going to talk a lot more about that, and some of the other folks here spoke, I think, quite eloquently about the misdeeds of Dr. Vasselli. Apparent misdeeds, let me say that. I'm interested in a good response rebuttal, Dr. Vasselli, and to defend yourself, and you need to do that, because the community is not happy with the way you're administering or the way you're spending public money. I also was quite taken by the Oceanside Unified School District graduate on the board earlier, that the 5 characteristics that the goal is to produce students out of here that have a multicultural communication skills, responsible digital citizen, positive self-identity and agency, like all of that, equitable global change agent, and love it, adaptable and future-ready adult. Love it all. Nothing wrong with any of that, except there's nothing there about academics. And without academics, none of that is possible. And here's the point. You actually produced this document here, which I thought was rather vague, because it says, district smarter balanced test scores. Okay. I don't know what's balanced about it, because they're not getting any better. There's nothing, is that what you mean by balanced? They're the same year after year after year. That's balanced. Smarter? What makes them smarter? That you're not getting better. In fact, many of the schools are falling behind year after year. So what was the point of this?
Thank you.
What a contrast, what
Emily Richmond.
Continuing with the superintendent's credit card, which is a loan for, I mentioned, about $110,000 in the past 5 years. And one of these years was COVID years where not one child attended school. In the big scheme of things, is this much for $1 million worth of budget in our school district? Not really, but when you think of it, could be at least 647 trips transporting homeless students to and from their family schools. How about trips for our SPED children that many times have been turned down for transportation? How about tutors? How many tutors would that buy for our kids that really need that extra help? That's the difference between learning the basics and failing in life. How much will this money be for new teachers who need that assistance for their materials and for their classrooms and their students? How about the field trips? The many that have been canceled because the schools did not get their money. How many would that be? I mean, the list can go on and on what that money would be for. And so you as a school board member, I understand you ratify that. Do you even look at that? Again, my interest is peaking because 4 credit card charges 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and now there's 84. And it continues every single month. There's going to be a time, of course, when the funding comes up and it's going to be very much heartaches for the people that you hired, the mid people that are using those $6,000 worth of gas to go all over the the district. So again, how is this credit card spending? How does it impact our students' achievement? How about our academic performance? The principals did a fantastic job on our magnet schools. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. And not one time did I hear, maybe I missed it, but their academic success. Housat lost 4.21% in math. Nichols lost 6.89 in math and 6.2% in English. Again, they're losing. And here we talk about the great enrichment that they have, which they will. But that needs to be connected with academics. What are they doing? Papa Talk, I love that school. I love all that the kids and the teachers put into that. But only 29% are in grade level in English and 22% in math. I mean, that's a shame. We should be hanging our heads. We really should. So this is just part of what I see in the fiscal management of our district, starting with the top, starting with the superintendent, and starting with everything that goes with the spending of money at the restaurants all over town, to different organizations, to Amazon purchases. You know, it could be good. I know that some of the hotels, there are legitimate. Thank you.
I'm going to speak to this board because you were just given a lot of misinformation. The public records request that they're referring to, you all got a complete copy of that, of every credit card expenditure that I've made ever since I've been in this district. And you will need to help me because I will forget some things. I am on a national board. We have the American Association of School Superintendents, and I am on that national board. Every bit of travel that I did for that organization while I was on the board was reimbursed by AASA, and Ann tracks every single expenditure that I make and ensures that that money is reimbursed. I'm also on our state association board, the Association of California School Administrators, ACSA. I've been on that board for 3 years, and all of my travel associated with that board has been reimbursed, and Ann tracks all of those reimbursements. I'm also a part of the Educational Research and Design Institute, which requires national travel. That travel is also reimbursed or paid for by that organization. The expenditures at Target, Amazon, Staples, those are not expenditures that I make. Ann Gibbons also uses the superintendent's credit card when she purchases things online. We purchase books from Amazon, books that we read professionally, etc., etc. For every flight and every conference or every hotel stay, there is an associated conference with documented paperwork that we are required to submit to our fiscal services department, along with receipts for every expenditure and a documented reason why that money was spent. We have been through, I think, 5 or 6 audits since I've been here. All of our audits are clean. There have been no misuse of credit cards by myself or anyone else. And we've had a positive budget now that Dr. Norman's been in place for the last 3 years. So that is the facts of the superintendent's credit card and every credit card in this district.
Since you're speaking, can you speak about the salt at Libby?
Exactly. About the assault at Libby. If you can defend yourself with your credit card, you can talk to the parents from Libby Elementary.
At this point in time, we will now adjourn this meeting at 7:59. Thank you.
Only defend yourself.